Let's first unpack the timeline of events that led to this tragic maritime collision in the North Sea. Early reports indicate that the MV Solong, flagged under Portugal, but with a crew of mixed nationality, including a Russian captain, had a troubling track record even before this disaster. According to port state inspections as recently as last year, the Solong failed 10 safety checks. These weren't minor issues. Inspectors noted unreadable compass readings, inadequate alarms, and poorly maintained survival equipment. The kind of red flags that honestly scream negligence. Fast forward to March 10th. The Solong collided with the Stena Immaculate, a U.S. flagged tanker anchored out in the Humber estuary. Eyewitness accounts from the tanker's crew described the moment chillingly. One sailor, speaking anonymously, said the Solong, and I quote, came from out of the blue. It didn't just gently nudge the anchored Immaculate. It slammed into it at full speed, triggering massive explosions and unthinkable chaos. This raises the immediate question: how does a vessel with modern tech fail to detect another stationary ship clearly broadcasting its position? Play this clip.
Our borders tonight. China, Iran, and Russia conduct joint naval drills in the Middle East. They took place in the Gulf of Oman near the strategic Strait of Hormuz, narrow mouth of the Persian Gulf through which a fifth of all crude oil traded worldwide passes. Police open a criminal investigation into a collision between two ships in the North Sea. One man has been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter. One crew member is missing and presumed dead after the collision between a cargo ship and an oil tanker. The other 36 crew members survived.
MV Solong's end, some crew members speculated that no one was even on the bridge, insinuating a horrifying lapse in duty. This isn't mere speculation anymore. Authorities have arrested the Russian captain, 59-year-old Vladimir Motin, charging him with gross negligence manslaughter. A heavy but, I think we can agree, necessary charge given the devastating outcome. Investigators are picking apart every decision, or lack thereof, leading up to this crash. Was it simply a technical malfunction compounded by poor leadership, or does it go deeper into systemic issues of negligence, the same kind hinted at during those inspections? And let's not forget the broader implications here. Two massive vessels carrying hazardous materials collide, resulting in environmental and legal crises. For the families and crews involved, this isn't just tragedy. It's a wake-up call to address glaring oversights in maritime safety. But this story is far from over. As the shockwaves of this catastrophe reverberate far beyond the North Sea, it's essential we focus on the human stories buried within the headlines. The confirmed, or more accurately, presumed, loss of Mark Angelo Pernia, a 38-year-old Filipino sailor who remains unaccounted for, casts a long shadow over the incident. One of 14 crew members aboard the Solong, he was much more than a statistic or a missing name on a list. For his family, this is an unthinkable tragedy. For his colleagues, his absence embodies the true cost of negligence on board this failing vessel. Now, let's examine the reactions and resilience. The response was massive and swift, involving international collaboration from the UK, US, and Portuguese Coast Guards. This was no ordinary rescue. Helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, lifeboats, and firefighting vessels were dispatched within minutes. And yet, despite every best effort, 36 crew members from both ships were only safely evacuated after enduring harrowing conditions, literally inches away from raging flames. Let's be honest here. This could have escalated into one of the largest seafaring disasters in recent history. As if the humanitarian toll wasn't enough, we're also looking at an estimated $100 million to $300 million in insured losses. Think about that for a moment. The financial ripples alone will span years, pulling in fleets of lawyers, multinational insurers, and governments. From hull damage and pollution management to logistical interruptions tied to the U.S. Navy's fuel reserves, the web of liabilities is staggering. But the most immediate questions remain. How do we divide this immense burden across stakeholders like insurers, vessel owners, and governments? And is military involvement here going to complicate already difficult settlements? Still, through all this, the most pressing issue is safety itself. It's moments like these that demand a hard look at compliance gaps in maritime oversight. And if this collision doesn't motivate change, honestly, I don't know what will. Now, let's shift to the less visible but equally heart-wrenching aftermath of this maritime collision, the environmental toll. What we know so far is that one rupture in the tanker released jet fuel, a substance less toxic than crude oil, but far from harmless. Experts remind us that jet fuel forms a thin film on the water surface, disrupting oxygen exchange and threatening the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. And though some of it may evaporate or break down, the damage is already likely underway, impacting life forms we barely stop to consider. Microorganisms, plankton, and small fish, the building blocks of an entire food chain. The collision took place in the Holderness Marine Protected Area, a designation given to regions of high ecological importance. This isn't just a patch of ocean, folks. Holderness harbors an extraordinary array of life. It's a vital breeding ground for fish, including plaice and lemon sole, while also supporting endangered species like harbor porpoises. Just north of this site is one of the UK's largest mainland seabird colonies, home to puffins, guillemots, and the awe-inspiring gannets. Now imagine a fuel spill intersecting with breeding season. If toxins infiltrate their habitats, either directly or by contaminating prey, the cascading effects could persist for years, even decades. Environmental scientists have already expressed concerns about the migration routes of waterfowl and the resilience of local marine mammals like seals. And while some marine habitats might recover, the more delicate ones face an uphill battle against suffocation from sediment-bound contaminants. This isn't alarmism, it's reality. Marine environments are dynamic but also highly interconnected, meaning what happens here ripples far beyond the immediate site of the crash. But here's the larger question. Are we looking inwardly enough? The same neglect that underpinned the Solong's failed safety inspections also weakens global environmental safeguards. Do we really prioritize marine protected areas, or do these designations exist largely on paper? Past maritime disasters show us that enforcement matters. Rules and regulations must carry teeth, not just intention. Drawing a parallel to my own experiences in advocacy, the key lies in resilience and questioning complacency. Just as we fight for healthcare reform to prevent unnecessary tragedies, we must fight for stricter environmental oversight to protect the ecosystems carrying life itself. So, what's the takeaway here? Beyond the technical failures and financial chaos lies a harder truth. This didn't have to happen. The tragedy is a product of preventable gaps in safety culture and environmental accountability. And as stewards of a shared planet, we owe it to future generations to learn from this incident. On that note, dear listeners, I leave you with this thought. We are only as strong as the safeguards we demand. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly, stay vigilant. That wraps up today's episode of The Real 411. I want to personally thank each and every one of you for tuning in and for your continued support. It means more than you know. If you found value in today's discussion, please drop a comment, follow us on all social media platforms, and let us know what topics you'd like to see us cover next. Be sure to sign up for our email newsletter so you never miss an update or exclusive insight. And if you believe in independent media that digs deeper and dares to tell the truth, please consider following The Real 411 on Substack and Fanbase. We offer both free and paid subscriptions, and your support helps us continue producing content that informs, empowers, and sparks real conversation. Thanks again for being part of this journey, because remember, the story is never just the headline. Until next time, stay informed, stay bold, and stay real.